The dream of the mid-90s first-person shooter is alive in Strafe, which mixes the fast-paced action of Quake with today's fondness for roguelikes. It's a fantastic idea that sometimes shines, but too often we felt robbed by wonky randomization or bugs. You gotta love its personality. Strafe kicks off with a hilariously nostalgic video tutorial full of intentionally cheesy lines.
There's more to scrapping than finding scrap and scrapping it. But let's move on to other actions expected of you.
It's kept up by the stellar soundtrack, and the notices that pop up after each stage inform you how much blood you spilled. These good vibes usually carry over into Strafe's procedurally generated levels, which keep one playthrough from feeling too much like the last in both layout and guns. The other edge of the procedural sword is that the pieces don't always fit together that well. Armor and ammo vending machines sometimes spawn under acidic turrets that are almost impossible to avoid, and the elevators have a bad habit of dumping you in scenarios where you're almost guaranteed to get hit immediately. Considering how expensive health and ammo is, that's a cheap shot. Speaking of cheap shots, the mini melee enemies make essentially no sound as they're mindlessly charging you. And if you die, it's back to the beginning unless you can secure all the pieces to a teleporter by making it all the way through a full run. If you're not a Quake pro, there's a good chance you'll spend hours getting past just the first of the 4 levels. We've only managed to get midway through the second so far. The result is that instead of charging in with the run and gun gameplay that Strafe seems to want, we found ourselves methodically luring enemies down choke points. But the real downer is death by bugs, like getting stuck on geometry and having to restart, or getting killed by enemies who fire through closed doors. Sluggish frame rates always stop by to visit at the end of each stage as the new one generates, although fortunately by then the danger has passed. Even for all this, we never regretted booting up Strafe. It's usually fun. Simply making armor and ammo boosts slightly easier to buy would go a long way toward making victory feel based more on strategy than blind luck. But as it is, it demands near perfect gameplay. Even Doom was never so unforgiving. For more on Strafe, stick with us here at IGN.